Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Level M Diecast, more Matchbox 5-packs. We have a ton of them kind of dropped all at once. This one, MBX European Highways. This is a new name for a 5-pack, although unfortunately all 5 models that you see there are re-releases. And yes, as normal, we will compare all those re-releases. So we'll go ahead and get this one cracked open. Kind of an interesting mix. But the thing is definitely, you definitely see all these cars on European highways, so they at least did a good job with that aspect of it. Put this to the side. Make our way from the top to the bottom, which will make most people happy. This is the Audi R8. This is fully tampoed up, front and rear and side. This one says, great to be 13S. Not really sure what the deciphering is of that, but figure it out. Somebody will throw a comment, I'm sure. Headlights done up. Audi symbol there. It does come with the dark chrome D10 wheels on there. That is a matte black blade on the side. It is matte black. There is your deets on the back. Prints look pretty good. Just a pretty good model all the way around. This is the original version of that particular R8. See, it does have the same plates on it, same prints and all that kind of stuff like that. This one has a gloss black blade on it, though. So that is definitely one of the differences there. We'll take a look at them here in just a second, but the rest of the deets look the same. So original will be on the left. Looks like the prints are going to be all the same. Definitely much, much thicker black in the grille for the original by far. And then the new one on the right has some additional silver print in the headlights. So that's quite a bit different on there as well. Again, original with a gloss blade and the new one with a matte black blade. Very, very different. Of course, the new one is chrome black versus just kind of gunmetal gray for the wheels. So they are significantly different than each other. Take a look at the rear deets. Everything looks pretty much the same on the back. Quality of prints. There's always going to be some shade in the red, just the way it works. And of course, the fuel cap filler on the opposite side. As far as the whites go, the whites are pretty much exact. Maybe a little bit less whites, I guess, on the original on the left versus the new one on the right, which is a lot brighter. And then take a look at the base deets. The original one down there at the bottom. See, that one does not have a base coat on there. Oh, yeah, it does. B51, so it's black printed on black. So kind of an interesting look there. And then, of course, there is a smooth finish to the base on the original one versus the one on the top, which is a matte kind of a finish on there. And, of course, they updated the base with all the deets, prints, all that good kind of stuff like that. Texts, everything else. So that one's not too shabby. All right, moving on to the very next one. This is the Mini Countryman. I do believe this one came out in the Top Gun 5-pack, if I remember correctly, in dark metallic green with a couple of gray, kind of grayish white stripes on the front. Full front and rear tampos on there. Looks pretty good. It does say Cooper S on the plate. This is the original release here. It hasn't been too long since this one came out, so there's probably not going to be too many differences here. Full prints on the front. This one dated in 06, so maybe a few years extra. Just doesn't seem quite that long ago. It says Countryman on the back as well. So we'll take our original. Original is on the left. You see there is a significant color difference to the greens. The one on the left is much more olive. The one on the right is much more British racing green. You'll see that the grills are completely different. A lot of black prints on the one on the right. On the one on the left, not very much. Almost all gray print in there, so significantly changed in there. The stripes are the same, shockingly. I didn't think the stripes were going to be exactly the same. Same wheels, so same 5 spokes with a little bit of black print on it, which looks pretty good. And then there is the base deets. Make sure we got these correct still. Original is on the left. You'll see the taillight prints are significantly different between the two. The size of the Cooper S on the plate is also different as well. So quite a bit of changes there. As far as the base deets go, it's just not an old enough casting to have any changes on the base, but take a look anyways. S05 is the date on this particular pack. All right, moving on to the Citroen DS. This guy seems to be having a bit of a resurgence. This did pop up in a 9-pack as well in gold. Does have a light blue color on there. Headlights are decoed up on this one. There's a plate detail on there as well. Very, very difficult to see that plate down underneath there, underneath the bumper. So kind of look at it from the side. And then, of course, it's got full prints on the back on the chrome interior part, which is kind of an interesting look to it. This one is dated S06, so these spread out a little bit. This is the original one here. See this one on the bottom. See if we look for a day code. Some of these don't have day codes. They're old enough that they don't have day codes. This one does not have a day code, so no day code on the bottom of this one. So it was very, well, let me figure, it's 2007 copyright, so this is probably a 2008 or 2009 model release here. So we'll put the original on the left. Take a look at our prints. They are significantly different for the headlights. You see the original one has black in the headlights. The new one has no black in the headlights. So quite significantly different there between the two headlight prints. The blues are pretty close. They're pretty close. They do sport the same wheels. I don't believe the casting's been modified at all, but the base has definitely been modified. There is the prints on the back. This one does say Citroen on the left. The one on the right, which is the new one, says that DS21 Palace. Looks like that's kind of where the direction they're going with these. But the taillight prints look the exact same. Then take a look at the base deets. See, the base has been updated on the top versus the original on the bottom. So always good to get some changes. So I don't like when they're exactly the same. They're kind of a pain in the butt. All right, moving on to the Land Rover Evoque, the two-door coupe Evoque, in a little bit metallic orange, kind of dark. Does have some dark D10 wheels on there. Full front and rear tampos on there. No plate details or anything. Does say Range Rover. Looks pretty good. This is the original one here. This one is dated J10. So been a while since we've seen this one for sure. This deco anyways. This casting has been seen regularly. So we'll take a look at the two models next to each other. Of course, the original one is on the left. A lot more black print in the print itself, but other than that, the prints are the same. Fog light print is done the same. Details and stuff like that. The colors are significantly different. I mean, night and day difference. The new one is much, much, much lighter, much more metallic than the original one, which is much darker. The original one has a much, much darker canopy too. Really, really hard to see this on the camera, but you can see through the top of this one to the casting rivet spot down there, but you cannot see through the original one. So definitely significantly different on the canopy part there, the window. Plate deets, the taillight prints are completely different between the two, 100%. They are not the same taillight prints whatsoever. But that looks pretty cool, so definitely like that. A little bit of a change up. And then a little bit of a modification of the little turn signals down there on the corners. Much, much darker on the new one on the right. And taking a look at the base deets. Again, not a very old casting, so unlikely to have any changes on the bottom. And of course, there are no changes on the bottom for that guy, but quite a few more changes in that than I anticipated. All right, the last one in this mix is the Scania P360 fire truck. This one did come out in the Best of France. We did get this in the Global Series here in the US, which was pretty nice. Does have, you know, printing and stuff like that. Of course, in French. Of course, your logos and stuff like that. There is a super close-up. Says A25. No prints on the front. And there's the base deets. Nothing fancy. S05. This is the one that came out in the Best of France. Not a very old release, so unlikely we're going to see very much change in it. There is the base deets, P13, so very, 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 very recent. Beginning of 2022, roughly. But we'll take a look at it anyways. Of course, the original will be on the bottom. So taking a look at the prints between the two, obviously there's a significant difference in the color of the roll-up door print. The original one is much darker on the bottom than the one on the right. The red is a little bit darker on the original as well. As far as the prints go, they are all the same Tampo prints. Of course, you're always going to have, you know, quality of prints, but everything else is there as the original. Same on the other side. There's color changes in those. Nothing else fancy there. They do have the same wheels. No prints on the back. See color difference there. The original is a little bit lighter than the new one. And then, of course, they share no changes on the front and no changes for the window or interior color. And, of course, there is no changes for the base deets. So, there you go. That is MBX European Highways. Kind of an okay set. Shockingly, there's differences between all of them, which is usually pretty rare. But not a bad mix to pick up. And, of course, a lot of people are going to want that Audi because we haven't seen that white one in full print in quite some time. So there you go. We're going to roll out. Appreciate you guys. Drop a comment. Come back. Subscribe. Whole 9 yards. Level him, Dotcast.